If you are joining me for the first time, please remember to click subscription button and hit that notification bell to be the first person to receive the video that will be produced by Davi-tech-media. Davi-tech-media, updating you. Davi-tech-media, subscribe to Davi-tech-media.
From the media. Somebody please help us just switch on the microphone so that people don't spread their voices. Michael, thank you. Please help us. We would like to welcome you to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Today we have a joint briefing happening between ourselves as the Commission and the Inspector General of Police, as well as the Secretary Generals of the Electoral Front and the United Party.
That's where I am.
At this time, just allow me to observe the protocols. The Inspector General of Police, the Secretary Generals of the political parties.
It's just for you.
Media colleagues. At this point, just allow me to invite the electoral officer to give his welcome remarks and also set the tone for the meeting that we have today. Electoral officer, over to you.
Thank you so much. Madam Moderator, allow me to recognize the presence of the Secretary General, Patriotic Front, and indeed the UPND, the Inspector General of Police, who is graciously devoted himself to be with us this afternoon. As a Commission, we are delighted by this gesture. Firstly, by the two political parties, that is the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development. Today is really not my show. It is basically to share with the general public and indeed the respective supporters of the political party some of the issues that did come out as a result of the engagement meeting that we had between the two political parties. There have been a number of issues that were raised before the Commission of concern with regards to the conduct of campaign activities, mainly attributed to the Patriotic Front and indeed the United Party for National Development Plan. And in the spirit of moving forward, it was felt fit and desirous that the two political parties came together and indeed come up with resolutions that we hope that will basically be cascaded to all the structures of their political parties. Hence, we have the executives from the two political parties present with us to speak to the nation and indeed their respective political parties. After which, we will have a word from the Inspector General of Police. At this juncture, I have the honor and privilege to call upon the SG, Secretary General of the Patriotic Front, to give his remarks on this view. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That I wish to inform members of the Patriotic Front and the general public that yesterday the Patriotic Front and the UPND held a meeting with the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the Zambia Police and made the following resolutions. 1. All campaign activities must be held with strict adherence to the COVID-19 health guidelines. 2. The PF and the UPND must respect the right of each other to freely campaign without interference or violence. 3. The PF and the UPND should adhere to approved campaign schedules, and any changes to the campaign schedules must be approved by the Zambia Police. 4. The PF and the UPND should cease from tampering with each other's campaign materials, such as posters and billboards. 5. The two political parties should not violate any provisions of the Electoral Code of Conduct. That I wish to assure the nation and the Patriot Front commits itself to the above stated resolutions. Further, that I want to caution all our members, PF members, not to engage themselves in any form of electoral malpractices, as it is against the law and the principles and values of our party, Patriot Front. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, SG. At this point in time, we also turn to the Secretary General for the United Party for National Development. Maybe you can wait for the mic to reach you.
According us this rare opportunity of coming together to take a move that is headed towards bringing peace to our beloved country. I will endeavor to read the resolutions of the meeting held between the ECZ, the Zambia Police, the Patriot Front, and the United Party for National Development. And I wish to state that we, the United Party for National Development, wish to advise and inform the nation that the meeting was called by the Electoral Commission of Zambia on the 19th day of July 2021 to discuss in the area the modus operandi of elections campaigns in the country. The attendees were ECZ, Zambia Police, PF Secretary General, and ourselves. Arising from the deliberations, the following resolutions were made. The meeting resolved that arrangements should be made for the Commission, the Zambia Police, the Secretary Generals of the Patriot Front, the United Party for National Development to appear on the ZNBC and other identified media houses to make pronouncements to the political party supports on the need to respect each other's rights to freely campaign within the COVID-19 regulations. The parties further resolved that the two political parties institute necessary measures within party structures with attendance sanctions. That the current COVID-19 restrictions as prescribed through the standard operating procedures shall continue to apply, and that parties should adhere to approve campaign schedules subject to changes should be duly indulged by the police service. Political parties should exercise maximum tolerance in conducting approved campaign activities, and all parties should desist from tampering with other parties' campaign materials like posters or billboards and acts of contravention of the Electoral Code of Conduct. We wish to inform the nation that as a party, we shall endeavor to abide by the rules and regulations that govern elections in the country. We further note that the incident, the Zambia police affirmed that they shall be impartial in their operations. In the premises, we urge and direct our members to strictly adhere to the Code of Conduct of elections. The party shall not protect anyone who willfully disobey the law without any justified reasons. We look forward to the impartial implementation of the resolutions, and all parties are urged to comply without exception in order for the election to be free and fair. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, SG, for those remarks. I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, and indeed the general public that is following us, it is gratifying to hear those remarks from the two Secretary Generals of the Patriotic Front and indeed the United Party for National Development. The Commission is determined and will continue to look for ways of engagement and indeed ensuring that the electoral environment is free and fair for us to be able to deliver a credible election come 12th August this year. At this point, I will ask the Inspector General of Police to provide his remarks. After that, we'll be able to close or indeed get a few comments or questions if needed. IG, can you await the mics to follow you?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everyone. The Chief Electoral Officer, representatives of political parties represented here by the two SGs, good afternoon to you, sirs. All other dignitaries present, dear colleagues, members of the press, good afternoon to you all. I'm glad to be part of this meeting this afternoon, which is meant to bring to the dialogue table electoral stakeholders with the ultimate objective of ensuring the attainment of a peaceful 2020 election. The Zambia Police Service, being one of the electoral stakeholders, is mandated to provide a level playing field in which all political parties are to
conduct their political activities freely. In playing this role, the Zambia Police Service is guided by pieces of legislation which include, but not limited to, the Electoral Process Act and the Public Order Act, among other pieces of legislation, as well as the COVID-19 regulations, as guided by the Ministry of Health and the Standard Operating Procedure on COVID-19. We already have police officers deployed to various areas with more attention paid to hotspots to ensure that all political players conduct their political activities without any intimidation and, above all, within the confines of the law. The political campaign activities began on a very good note, save for reports of violence which were recorded in some parts of the country and was as a result of utter disregard to the provisions of the law that guides the conduct of political players during an election. As we get closer to the poll day, we have continued seeing increasing levels of intolerance and provocation of political cadres who have resorted to pulling down, damaging, or defacing campaign materials of opposing political parties. Others have resorted to attacking any member of opposing political parties found wearing their preferred political party regalia, pitching up campaign materials, or conducting other activities such as door-to-door campaigns and maliciously damaging other people's property. We have also seen cadres on social media brandishing offensive weapons as a way of intimidating other political players and inciting violence. I have since directed all police officers to ensure that they investigate all such matters and bring the culprits to book. As of yesterday, 19th July 2021, we have so far arrested 61 suspects for various offenses, which include removing or damaging of political materials, being in possession of offensive weapons, assault, unlawful wounding, and malicious damage to property, among other offenses. Some of the suspects have already appeared in courts of law, while others are still being investigated. The value of property damage so far during political activities is 1,884,000 kwacha. I will therefore not allow this kind of lawlessness to continue. I wish to echo what other electoral stakeholders have been saying, that political intolerance can easily be avoided if all political leaders took a leading role in denouncing violence and practice their pronouncements. I'm cognizant of great efforts by various institutions that have taken steps to provide platforms where political parties have committed to conducting peaceful elections, and we commend such gestures as they greatly help in prevention of crime. I therefore urge all political parties to stick to their commitment to peace, as well as campaign schedules as submitted to relevant authorities, and as such activities should be conducted peacefully and in observance of COVID-19 guidelines as provided for by the relevant authorities and as prescribed by the Standards Operating Procedures on COVID-19. Furthermore, all those that intend to conduct public political activities should notify the police of their intended activities as demanded for by the law. This will curtail occurrences of public disorder such as clashing of political cadres. Anyone who will decide to ignore the provisions of the law will be dealt with sternly in accordance with the law, irrespective of their political affiliation. Zambia is a country of laws, and as such, no one should be left to behave contrary to what the law provides for. As we get closer to the podium, I expect all police officers to decisively deal with all matters of political violence, and I want to see more arrests, because that is one way of the effective deterrence to crime. May I end by urging political party leaders to ensure that they guide the conduct of their cadres and see to it that all grievances are reported to relevant authorities for redress. No one should take the law into their own hands. There is need for all political players to genuinely commit themselves to conducting peaceful political activities devoid of provocation or intimidation. We only have one Zambia, hence we all need to preserve the peace. There is no need to shed blood just because of an election. I thank you.
Thank you so much, IG, for those remarks. Like I said, it's a very gratifying day on the part of the Commission. It's extremely rare that we have such engagements, and we're very grateful. We are very grateful to our stakeholders. This is not limited to the two political parties. I'm sure, as you are fully aware, political parties did sign a peace accord last week, where through the support to the Commonwealth and indeed ZCID and the churches, civil society leading that process. And as a Commission, we do welcome any initiative that is meant at supporting peace in this country. With that said, I'd also like to reiterate the Commission's position on impartiality. We will continue to act and ensure that all the players have a fair playing field in the conduct of their campaign activities. And as such, the Electoral Code of Conduct will also be applied in an impartial manner. And we're pleased to hear the directives that are coming from the two Secretary Generals to the party structures, and can only appeal to the party structures to adhere to those directives so that we can have a conducive environment. As we are fully aware, electoral violence does undermine the credibility of any election. Indeed, intolerance has been seen to be at the center of that, and we can see the cordial relationship that exists within the leaders of the political parties. We hope that same coexistence will trickle down to the supporters and ensure that we conduct a free, fair, and credible elections come 12th August. In addition to that, allow me to take this opportunity to announce that the partial suspension that was still sitting on Lusaka province has since been lifted. This is still subject to the guidelines. This is the COVID protocol guidelines that still exist. As you recall, after suspending the Patriotic Front and the United Party for National Development in the 4 districts, Lusaka was partially lifted, where restrictions were still in force with regards to physical campaigns. This is in line with the COVID protocols. This has since been lifted. Allow me to make that announcement. With that, by a show of the gesture, if we can proceed to signing off the resolutions that were reached at yesterday's meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming. Allow me to present the resolution back, which Patriotic Front and indeed UPND have committed to. So I will hand over to the Secretary General. And indeed, as a commission, we will retain a copy and allow me to hand over the item. As we implement our mandate in an impartial manner, again, to thank the two SGs for this very important gesture that they have demonstrated today. Thank you so much. This was a communication to the public and basically putting out the commitments. So we do not expect Q&A. But I know the media are here and always anxious to ask things, but it has to be limited or restricted to what has been done today. We have gotten to this place where we had a long discussion yesterday and a lot of issues were resolved, and we have agreed and committed to move forward. So please, even as you point out, only ask, allow me for 2 or 3 questions. Let it be limited to what has been put on the table. Thank you.
Thank you very much, colleagues. As guidance, if you have any questions related to what has been witnessed today, we can lift our hands and I'll give you an opportunity to ask. Anyone with a question? Hannah, Shmunia, we can go in that order.
Good morning, everybody. I recognize the presence of the eminent journalists, the Secretary General of the political parties, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and my media colleagues. My question is for vote, so it will go to each and every speaker or president, so that is important. My question to the two Secretary General is respondingly, so just one. Both political parties have gigantically pronounced themselves on the need for party members to desist from electoral violence. But why is this not materializing? Is it that they are not taking your message? Then to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, culture, the which says, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. How far have you gone in terms of preparing for elections and the elections guarantee that they are able to deliver a credible and fair election? Then to the police IG, you've been accused that you are being impartial in addressing electoral violence. What is your reaction? Thank you very much. I'm Anna Kasumade. Thank you.
May I provide guidance? Like I said, I think we are on a new leaf. The political parties have committed, moving forward henceforth, of what is expected of the political parties and indeed their supporters. So I think the questions where you are basically saying why are they not listening, this was before this event happened. I would advise that you come back to that in an event that there is a breach of these agreements, which I pray and hope will not be the case moving forward. And I believe the same would apply to the IG. With regards to preparedness, as a commission, we are very well prepared. I'm sure you have heard in terms of the updates. We are currently at ballot printing stage with over 90% of that exercise concluded. And we anticipate that we should be done this week. By next week, we'll be talking about shipping the ballots back to Zambia. So we are on course and we are very confident that we'll be able to conduct this exercise in a free, fair, and impartial manner as committed.
Good afternoon, Mushindano. My question is a bit similar to what Mr. Kasama did. I think what we have noted in the past is that usually this violence between these two political parties happens in these markets where they are perceived to be stronger. When you go to the southern province, this violence, and mostly it's orchestrated, believed by the UPND. when you come to a location like here in Lusaka, it's the Patriot Front who have received the ones that are here with this violence. With this accord, what are you telling your members in these bus stations and markets?
Thank you. I think that was highlighted in the resolutions and commitments that the respective political parties spoke to. So I will allow the political parties, starting with SG Patriotic Front.
Well, I think that after signing the peace accord, the Electoral Commission of Zambia have observed that despite us signing the peace accord, there's still some incidences of violence, and UPND and PF, according to incidents, are the ones who are in forefront, and that's one reason they called for a meeting yesterday, and we've all agreed that we need peace during this campaign period, and us as PF and our colleagues would make that commitment that there will be peaceful campaigns.
As it has been clearly elaborated by IG, we only have one Zambia. And it's for the same reason that we decided to agree to sit yesterday at length and came up with the resolutions. It also be concerned that blood was being shed unnecessarily. So as parties, we felt the best way to go forward is to come out with a peace accord between ourselves, so that it gives a clear indications to the cadres out there that they should conduct themselves in a manner which is civil, in a manner which presents a clear picture of Zambia as a peaceful nation, as it has been known from independence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. At this point, I'll hand over back to Madam Musoni.
Thank you, Chief Electoral Officer. We've come to the end of our session today. We'd like to thank you for finding time so far. And for now, just allow the CEO to leave the IG, the two SGs to leave us. And after that, we can call.
Sorry, the two SGs for the sake of us not carrying.
By all means, you can get your cameras ready.
So that they do for example, for the sake of us,
What goodness. Yes, sir.